And he said in that letter of recommendation, he said, if Charles, if you would allow him to start a prayer meeting in your school, he said, you will be shocked at the impact that prayer meeting will have. He said, they started a prayer meeting in our school. He said, and the number of students that smoked has dropped like you can't believe. He said it in his letter. He said, they never asked us to change the rules. They never asked us to do anything about students smoking. He said, but somehow, I don't understand the correlation. I don't understand how it works. But somehow, these kids praying every morning, somehow it just kind of overflowed into the smoking area, and all of a sudden, fewer and fewer and fewer and fewer students are smoking. What's your point, Pastor? The point is, when the church is what the church ought to be, we will have a positive impact on our world, and we will not have had to do anything political. We will not have had to make fools out of ourselves, fighting social warfare and fighting cultural battles. We will not have had to make ourselves a nuisance in the world. No, when the church behaves as the church ought to behave, there are going to be positive things happening in your city. There are going to be positive things happening in your state. There are going to be positive things happening in your country. And honey, you probably will not have even prayed about those things. You won't even have asked God about those things. I got to tell you this, and then I'll shut up. I know I said I was going to use that as my last. I know. I'm running over time, I know. I knew a pastor of a Church of God years ago in a little town in Texas called San Angelo. His name was Brother Nichols. Brother Nichols had an amazing testimony, man. His wife began to go to the Church of God, received the baptism of the Holy Ghost, and brought the kids to church. And this man, her husband, was not saved. And he was a very angry man. He used to abuse her, beat her, mistreat her. He was a drinker. And one day he grabbed her by the hair and he said, you can go to that bloody, stinking church if you want to,